Hello, how are we doing, everybody? Let me know if you're in the chat. Let's just see if there's any familiar faces, and obviously those that have come here to get some feedback on their shots. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the chat before we get started. Cool, we've got a few people here. I think you're all here for the animation stuff. There we are. So obviously, you know, my name is Fatih. I am an animator, instructor, and big kid. So most of you here probably know me already. So without further ado, we've got a few people. For those of you that are regulars, this is going to be a animation review. As you always know, you send your stuff in, guys, to me through the Discord that we have on the channel. And what I do is I just pick up your shots and, you know, give you feedback. For those of you that are regulars already know this. First time, if you're here, it's like I just mentioned. I will be reviewing students' shots of animation, where I'll be giving feedback, detailed analysis of those shots, and, you know, taking it from there onwards. So if you are interested, go to the YouTube channel on the biography. You can go there and, you know, just yeah, join the Discord channel and get more information about the you know, sending your shots in and getting feedback on your shots. Cool. All right, I can see you guys are in the chat. Some people that I already know, familiar faces. Drop a little message there. Cool. Just let me know your thoughts as I'm streaming. I'll take some time out after every feedback to you know, communicate with you guys and just like interact a little bit as well. So cool. So if I am reviewing your shot, or when I'm reviewing your shot, feel free to, like, you know, in the chat over here, just try to like drop some comments, let me know your thoughts, and communicate with me. And feel free to ask me questions if you have. So cool. I will get started. Well, let's see. Yeah, and hit a like on the stream before we get started. Cool. All right, let's start, guys, and let's get going. So I'll play the first shot. The first shot I have over here is from Stella. Hey, Stella. Let's take a look at your shot and see what it looks like. I mean, I already have seen, but for everybody. Nice. Fun. I like the very end as well, where he just pops up. Cool. Very awesome. So there's a lot of positives over here, Stella. So nice work. I've seen you've put a lot of, you know, time and dedication to this shot. So it looks really appealing. Very cool. What I would say to you is the first half of the shot over here, where there's nothing happening, I would use that time to incorporate something where, you know, he's really relaxed and, huh, did I hear something? And then all the crazy stuff happens. So it could just be that he has these very, you know, those kind of eyes. And he's slowly rotating his head to screen left. Is that the way? Screen left, right? Yep, that way. So he's maybe doing something along the lines of just slowly rotating his head, going, huh? And then all that crazy stuff happens. So maybe just, you know, huh? So that's what I would add for the beginning, because at the moment we have a static pose, and it's okay to stay in the same pose, but just keep your character alive, like with a moving hold. So if I was you, I would keep this pose. It's only when you get the nibble, like the bite on the rod, that excuse me, that he starts to move. I think up until frame. See if I have some water. No, no water. I think like frame there, 21 is when the rod starts to move. So you have a good 20 frames of moving holes that you can add in there, and it could just be a case of slowly looking, and then he gets pulled. So that's what I would add for there. And as for the pose itself, you have the kneecap looking towards straight at us, and I would maybe be tempted to just ever so slightly lean forward. So this could be done very easily with the what do you call it? The controllers for the kneecaps. So the pivot. That's too much. Let's zoom back out a little bit. Something along these lines. Similar to this, but not as much. So just rotate that away so it's not looking at the camera. And you probably will have something along these lines, just for that leg. I think this whole leading stuff that you have is good. Just maybe pull this elbow a bit more in, like that, just so we see that bend. So you don't have it facing towards the camera completely. That's what I would say for that. Besides that, I think the pose is cool. And we always tend to, the direction you're looking, so if you were to look at me, if I'm going to look that way, I would squint this and go, or if I'm going to look the other way. So just a very quick trick that you can add. So try to use a bit of asymmetry and use squash and stretch. Squash and stretch is not always like squeezing the whole body. It's basically what you're doing with a pose. And what I would say is, you can still have a bit of a, what do you call it, a squint on the face, but I would reduce that maybe and do something like this maybe. Yeah. And the opposite with the eyebrows. Like reduced one, reduce the one with the squint you have, make that bigger compared to the one with no squint. So that one maybe will be bigger. And this one, see what's happening there? It's squashing. This one is stretching. So you want the opposite effect. And where you have the mouth, this area is squashing. And even with the mouth, I would even go just to push that a little bit more. Just completely use that side that we're doing like this. This part is squashing. This area is opening up. See? Let's take a look at the difference. Whoops. Let's go forward. See, from there to this. I would be tempted, even getting really picky now, to do something like this. Like really big and who's that? That's the typical Disney kind of like favor one side, pick one side which you want to squash and stretch. So hopefully that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, so hopefully that's for that first pose. And hopefully that feedback was helpful for like the first section of not much happening. What I would say around here is when your character does notice, you know, I've got a nibble. Try to follow your arcs a little bit more. So if I go here, let's get a red, even though red is a dangerous color. So if you follow the head, like track the head, for example, let's do this. Let's track from the side. If I was to do that, if I now look at the path you're doing this. Whereas I would do something more along the lines of this. Like try to get, at the moment you're doing up, but you can get a bit more of an arc. So let's just say this is what you're doing. And I would recommend doing something like that. A bit more of an arc as you're, because we always move in arcs. And even here, for example, if you track your arcs, you go down and then straight. The only time you would be linear is if it's a robot moving. So I think that's great. You can grab the same motion, but do this. I have to do sound effects, guys, by the way, just so you know. I can't just talk and be like, da 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 da. No, I have to do my little sound effects. So that's what you have, and I would just recommend you to create this, you know, have a smoother arc, so, of your motion. And from here onwards, bang, it's okay for a frame to, from here you go from one pose, snap to this, and then you go down. Yeah? So I think what you can do is, you can start here, this is great. Rather than going straight here to here, you can maybe do this, like add a bit more of an arc. And even when you're pulling here, I would push up, continue, start to come forward, and then slide into this what you have there, right? So rather than going straight down, whoops, straight down, just make sure you follow that arc. Do we have Stella in the chat? Cool. Let's just see if we have Stella in the chat. Maybe she can ask some questions about her shot. Just to see. Cool. You guys are messaging and doing stuff. That's awesome. Hello, minute late. Stella. Oh, I see Stella. So I hope you're good. So I'm working, well, if you missed the first little section of your shot, I would just say continue with the stream, and you can take a look at the beginning of the stream so you don't miss interacting with me live at the moment. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, and just let me know if you have any questions while I'm going through this. So hopefully this makes sense. Cool. So all this stuff that you have here is awesome. Some stuff that I saw that I think we can push as well is, check this out. I think this is really fun to really push some of your stuff. I like how, see where the hair is there? Bang. When you do this, you want to follow what's happening previously there. It's like the hair is hanging in mid-air. You're doing it here, which is great, but try to do that for this section. It's like the head is going down, but the hair is dragging behind. And then when you go here, that's like a moment to be really goofy and really push. So if that's where the hair is. So I'll draw this in 2D just to show. And even here. And you know what? Let's get rid of this section. Because we can. And even this bit here, like that. Cool. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm trying to do this very quickly. And even this bit here, look, I'm flicking through. So my 2D skills are kind of working. And then when you come down, that's great. So now let's try to see the hair. See, we feel a bit more of a swoosh, like it's really dragging behind. I'm just trying to look there. Like this is, you'll have 1 or 2 frames, like that's fine. You'll have 1 frame where you can really push quite a bit. Or even do some like motion blurs and stuff. Not motion blurs, sorry. Smear frames. It's basically a motion blur created in 2D. Something like that. And yeah, let me know, guys, if you like kind of motion blurs and stuff. Cool. So I'll play this and let's see what this looks like when he does go down. So I'll zoom back out. So now it's going to be very quickly, those couple frames, but it should feel very like, you know, the hair's dragging. Yeah, there we go. So we want that feeling. Yeah, and it's just a couple frames. You need to adjust those. Yeah, I know. It's really cartoony, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. So you don't need to draw this. You can just do it in like with the poses you already have. But you can see I've done a bit of drag, much more drag, big drag, and then coming back down there. And that's going to help you have like some nice overlap. All the other stuff that you've got going here, like with the backwards, forwards, backwards, with the hips, I think you're doing really well there. Keep that up. The only thing I would say is there could be some polishy stuff that you could do, and just try to, if you want to drag the foot backwards like this, and it's going back, that's great. But don't make it happen over a long, long distance. Like lift the foot up a bit more, and then when you land there, you can have 1 frame where it drags back and stops. But if you have the foot going, this foot, if you have the foot land, back, it feels very slidey, if that makes sense. So I would just have, you're lifting, just lift this guy up a bit more, lift it a bit more, and then contact here on 50. And then you have that 1 small slide, stop. That's going to feel much more, but it's going to be nice to lift your foot off the ground and really stamp down just to make sure you stop. By the way, guys, can you hear me clearly? Just to make sure that the audio is there and I'm not just going, and it's, you know, that'd be great. Cool. All right, let's continue. So it's cool that you have this stretch. Let's see if you're incorporating them. Yeah. Yep, you are incorporating the shoulders, but let me see if we can get some more in there. Yeah, so for example, the stretch is nice when you're pulling, but as your arms come back to its normal shape, just make sure you pull the shoulders back a bit. So you want to always feel like the shoulders are involved in what you're pulling and pushing. And also, when you lean forward, just make sure there's a bit more of an overlap on the head. So this bit's fine, like when you're doing this. Let me just show you. Like that bit where you're leaning forward and you've got this, there's the head going back. But as you continue forward, you need to start rotating the head forward as well, like around here. Whoops. There, we want to start rotating the head forward a little bit more. Not too much, just to feel that connection. Cool. All right, let's keep moving. I want to give everyone a fair amount of time, so 20 minutes-ish for everybody. Okay, guys, if you're in the chat, hit the like. I do appreciate that. I won't keep saying that, don't worry. But if you hit the like, I'll really appreciate it. Okay, cool. We'll keep moving. And yeah, these are really strong, awesome poses. What I think when you get into that pose, the body stops moving. So don't, just before you pull, it's nice that you go back here. And for you to get that big stretch, I think you just need an anticipation where your body goes down and then pulls up. So around there. That's fine. But if you want to get into this pose from here, I would just do a slight down and then there and then pull back a bit more. And then all the other stuff you're doing there is fine. That's all good. It's just this section here. You have a bit of a dead space, dead area where it's like it stays. And we want to add a bit more motion there. Let's see. This is cool. I think what you have is awesome. This is the part where I'm going to be like, let's push a bit more. See that nice arc that you have going across the body? Let me just open this up. There we go. That's awesome. The hands do that. I think you can just continue that. So you've got this whole like line going through the body. You know? So this is the part where you can push your shot and really exaggerate that. Geez, I'm stretching this way. That's the first thing. And number two, it's nice to just, like, you're lifting your head, but this is the part where we want to see, you know, he's really angry and like, grr. So what I would do there is just that kind of thing, like rather than lifting your head up through that little section here, there, like this, rather than doing that, I would do this, like play it towards the camera. So his head is looking at us like, geez, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that's going to really help push what you got there. Over one frame, I think that's too much. Like, this is going up. There, I would do this. I would start to come down. And then that's fine. I just think from 107 to 108, it's just a big, like, it's big. It's all the way from here all the way to there. So I think we just need to make sure that we have some more poses in there, you know, that help this. Yeah. And I even think, you know, you're pushing so much. Don't stop. And you could have a big contact and then bang. Whoops. Where's your foot going to be? There. Right? And then slides back. Because you're pushing this foot. You're like, it's really scrambling. So you could actually have the foot lean forward. Again, this is a bit more preference-based rather than body mechanics feedback. It's more, I would do this to push what you're doing. You know, you're like, I'm really stretching forward. Around there. Like this. Bang. And then when you land, and then it goes back to this. Yeah. So you're really reaching forward and it's like you're clawing your way to move forward from this. So let's play it and see what it looks like. Yeah. And it's kind of like building up to this whole scrambling section there, because you do this big stretch, and then you go into this like scrambling pose there. Cool. I'll take a mini break and see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then we'll continue with the reviews, guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. There's a lot of love for your shot in the chat, which is awesome. And be nice, guys, because it is a really lovely shot. It's so cartoony. Yep, I know. Thanks everyone. That was fun. Give me a lot of trouble as well. No, I can see there's a lot of plus. Not only that, you're also constraints. You've got this, you know, the string of the rod to catch the fish. So it's quite a technical shot, guys, and she's really done like a great job with like pushing the shot, using constraints, and yeah, making it feel like there's weight at the same time. So there's a lot going on in this shot. So like, well done. Yes. Love to see one thing to Oh, what section is that? See, one thing in particular I don't know how to deal with at all are the hands when they're right above the head. Yeah, so that section there, so this bit here. Yep. What I would say to you is I would need to see your reference based on what you did, and let me know if you use reference for this. I think you have. You would need to, there'd always be small adjustments, so it probably is in your reference. You wouldn't completely hold it straight. So whatever you had in your reference, there would be small adjustments. So I would say whenever you're doing that around there and you're pulling, I would guess you're always like slightly adjusting your hands to get a better grip. So that's, I think, what's missing from around here that you need to add into your shot. And also, when you do go forward there, this pose here, awesome. I wouldn't move away from this pose, because this shows, I would even go as further as to say, just get this. Like the rod is completely bending. Yeah? And then you have this. Where is it? Let's make it purple, because why not? Oh my god, I can't draw straight lines. There. You see how powerful that looks? When you go to this, it makes it look, because the rod is not bending no more, like it's bending but tiny bits, that this here is much more stronger than that. So I would basically go to this as your most powerful one and stay in that pose. And just struggle in this, like, you know, just struggle in that pose. Yeah, and all the stuff you're doing here is groovy. That's how I put it. And you know what? Seeing as your shot is quite cartoony and you've done quite a lot of the groundwork, you know how you open the eyes? I would do this, because I don't get a chance to do cartoony stuff a lot. But I think there's an opportunity for you, at least, to do this. So, see where the eyes are? Look at the frame where they're there. Let's just make the eyes pop out, right? And then it snaps in. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm also following the arcs. Like, it goes there. Whoever's seen One Piece in when Kaido fights Luffy, they do a lot of this. And also in like Tom and Jerry stuff, you know? It's the typical Looney Tunes kind of stuff. Bang! Smacks in there. So let's see what this looks like. I could be completely off, but it's just a suggestion. So let's go over there and let's see the eyes. It's fun, right? Let's see. Let me zoom in a little bit more because it just happened so quickly. There we go. What do you think, guys? Let me know if that's working or it's not. Yeah, something like that could be fun. Let's see. So I remember achieving the hair. That's not very much. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, go for it. The eyes look funny, that kind of stuff. And one more thing, um, when you do have big spacing, I either recommend you do smear frames. Like if you want something snappy, you need to make up for that space that you're covering. So for example, he moves back from there. Like you need something to cover that spacing. That was very quickly just to show you, see what this looks like. Yeah. So when you go from like here to here, it's not so bad, but when you have really big spacing, to cover that, just put some smear frames if you can. Cool. All right. So hopefully, how are you doing? Cool. We're going to move on to the next shot. And just before I do, I'm going to leave this section out because I think we're a bit out of time, but I think the ending's super funny. You just want one pose, just like you have over here with your character. Like the timing is really cool as well. Your character drops in, boing boing, boom. I do think you can get a little bit more like doing, like you know when you get a glass Coke, like you know one of those glass can Cokes. Let me see if I can find one. Coca-Cola drink. Let's see. But anyway, you know when you like put something underneath water and you let go and it just pops up? Try something like that. That's the idea you have over here. But I definitely think we can get a bit more close to... Yeah, you know, you want a bit more rotation and a bit more boing. And it slows down gradually as it goes up and down. So, yeah, no, it's looking awesome. Let's have one last play and see what this looks like. Yeah, so hopefully those notes are really helpful for you, Stella. And yeah, keep pushing. It's looking really good. And it's pretty progressed shot. So, nice stuff. Cool. Let's take a look at the chat and then we'll move on to the next victim. No, I'm joking. Next animator. All right, so let's see. So, Captain Zazu. Yep, I know who you are. How are you doing, Fatir? Working on cool projects? Yes, I'm doing good, thanks. I'm mainly working on personal projects and freelancing. So, yeah, nothing big at the moment because I would like to work on smaller stuff and just focus on my own personal stuff. So I will have a animation coming soon to the YouTube channel that I'm going to put for you guys. Very anime based, which I really like, manga anime style animation. So if you like that kind of stuff, I'm going to have entertaining content for you all. But yeah, I'm good. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well yourself. How is your animation going as well? Are you enjoying learning animating? Where are you at the moment? What are you up to? And Bibs, fun, thanks, Marty, Stella. Oh, yep, no, you're welcome, Stella. This was super helpful. Plenty of great stuff to work on. I appreciate you. No, you're most welcome. I do have one more shot for you, but I think I want to go to... I'm going to leave the second one towards the end, if that's okay, because I don't want to go 2 shots that you have back to back. I would like to give other people that have submitted another chance. But at the very end, if you're still around, I will take a look at your second shot as well. So, and I can see that's a very different shot. It's more realistic and performance-based. So if you're around, Stella, I will look at your second shot at the very end. But I want to give everyone else an opportunity next, if that's cool. Cool. All right, you're welcome. Yeah, what else is being said? Just to show you, I appreciate you guys. That's what's going through my mind right now. Cool. All right. So let's continue. Okay, I thought you'd only pick one of the 2 anyway. No, I will take a look at the other one as well at the very end. It might be this one. It was a good, like, I spent almost close to half an hour. So I will see how much time we have at the end because I want the streams to be like an hour and a bit maybe. But yeah, let's see. Let's see how much time we have at the end. And if you're still around and we have some time, I will move on to the next one. I will come back to your show again. Awesome. So next we have Aiden. Hello, Aiden. By the way, guys, I'm doing this based on your submission. Whoever submitted first, they go first. Like, it's based on that. So, yeah. Cool. So, I am taking a look at Aiden's shots. If Aiden is in the chats, let me know so I can, see if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me. But let's play. Aiden, you don't have a reference, which means I'm going to take a look at just like the poses and overall. I don't want to move far away from what you already have. Just like a Stella's shot. Okay. Nice. Interesting. And fun. Because she's not just staying in the same place. Once she breaks the finger, she starts to run around. She's panicking like, oh my god, they're going to get... Whoop. Okay. You know what might be funny? This is just a personal situation. You don't have to do this. It's nothing to do with the animation. If you had like alarms, like alarms going off, like red alarms. As soon as like the finger goes pop, and she grabs it, and then the alarms come, and then she's just like, oh my god. What? Oh, no. And then does that. Just a suggestion. Okay, let's take a look at the animation. So let's look at the first 50 frames. I think we have a lot of space over here, and you never go to this side of the, the screen at any point. It's just a lot of negative space. So I think if you had your screen like this, and just like cut into this a little bit more, that's my, thought process when you do come down. Be careful, because when your foot is coming down, this is your arcs. And you come down, and all of a sudden you move forward. I would expect your foot, if it's coming down, it would just pin there. So let's take a look at the trajectory of your feet, where it's going. Okay, there. So for example, let's look at the arcs for your feet. You start to move in this direction, and then all of a sudden you plummet downwards. I can see there's a little bit of motion forward, but based on this, I would expect this over here. There. So you're doing something along those lines. Like, that's where I would assume your feet would land based on these guys. So I would try to aim to get something like this for the arcs. And when you do land, that's where you land. So now it's going to be over here. Just bear in mind that if this is where the base of your feet is, I would expect the rotation to happen from there. It's slightly a little bit forward, like there. You see it moves forward. If I was to, if that's the base, let me just see in the camera what I'm doing. If this is my heel and it lands, the next frame would be rotating from there, like that. I wouldn't go land forward and this, So it just feels like it's sliding a little bit. So just make sure when your heel makes contact with the ground, that's where the rotation happens from there onwards. Okay, I think this is super cute, like it's super fun. We just kind of lose the elbow here a little bit. So what I would recommend is, you can still have the same pose. Just increase the shoulder, just pull the shoulder up, and hopefully we get something like this. We just get a bit more of that shoulder on camera. There we go. So from this to this. For the shoulder, just so we can see that forearm, the bicep a bit more. That'll be amazing. And yeah, let's keep going. I think your down and up is working really well. That's really cool. When you do lean like this, I would expect rotation backwards. You're doing it with the chest, but try to get more of the body. Like this section. That was pink. Let's get red. Just so we can see. This section here, the body mover, try to rotate that more. Because you're doing it with this, and it should be mainly with that. Because your body's pointing here, and it's still pointing there, and it's kind of pointing up. So this little bending back is only happening in an isolated area where it should be happening with the body. So as you're doing that, you need to rotate the body back from here. not just this. There would be some on the chest, but not as much. That's why, so you can drag back and then come into this after. So you want a nice overlap. So I think you can make that a bit more stronger. Okay, so let's take a look. So hopefully that helps. So let's look at some poses. Okay, that's really cool. Over here, we become a little bit straight. I would say either lean towards the lady over here and have that same pose, just slightly that way, or a bit more this way. You know? If you turn that way, then I would recommend having this pose like this, leaning towards her, and you're admiring her, you know, like that. Because afterwards you turn screen right around here, which makes sense. And then naturally you do this. But be careful, once you turn as well, it becomes quite straight. It's great that you're doing a rotation, but you still want a bit of a rotation like this, on the body. Something more along the lines of this, you know? At the moment it feels a bit straight. Cool, so let's look at the other section. Oh, my little alarms. It's a little bit difficult to tell what's going on without the reference. Like, I can give you feedback on this, but I know you guys don't like having your reference because it's on YouTube, it's online. But I have to be honest, like, your shots and your reference is always going to be online. The studios always have your reference, and they will always show it as like behind the scenes or on their website and stuff like that. When you refrain from showing me a reference, it's just I'm kind of guessing what's happening here. Like, I can see some stuff that's not working, small stuff here and there, but for me to know exactly 100%, I would need a reference. So what I can do is I can work on some of the poses here, and just for example, when the head is turning, the chest starts turning as well. Almost at the same time, I would just offset a little bit. So the head turns first, and maybe 2 frames later, the chest starts rotating as well. So there's a slight offset there. Look, it's moving all at the same time. So head, chest, and hips are all moving together. I would break it up into section A, B, and C. So all these are all separated, and they're all happening. So it feels, for example, if I'm going to do like move my head, my chest is following as secondary. It's not happening at the same time. If it was, it would do this, you know, it would do that. So when you want to get smoother locomotion, it's always offset a little bit. It's broken up a little bit. Broken up, not as in like break the rig, you know. No, guys, that's not good. Yeah, so I would recommend that for this area. And even when you like go here, let's zoom in a little bit. When your hips go down, just make sure you go down from here and have a slightly stronger arc. Like, I'm looking at the hips, and it seems to go this way in a straight line, almost straight line. And you could do something like this. While you're there, rather than going straight, just do slightly forward down like this, and then settle, you know? For example, whenever your feet plants on the ground, your body goes down. So I don't have the reference, but that's probably what's happening. For example, you lift your feet, there will still be a small up and down. Up, and your foot lands, bang. Your hips will go down, and then you will rise for this. So just check your reference. I'm almost certain that's in there. And then what you have around here is awesome. Like, continue with that little look and moving hold. Okay. Yeah, and that turn is super cute. Like what you have over here for that turn, that's super cute. Again, I do like pushing some of the poses. Let's see if I can push this more. It would be nice to see that arm on the other side, similar to what I just said earlier on. It feels like she's a little bit off balance. So I would either move this leg back, or when she turns around from there, don't have her go so far back. Just have her forward. Just so this leg can feel like this. So we have this pose here. And let's get this. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Just ever so slightly back. You know? Yeah, something like that. So if you look at this pose here, it's cool. I think this might be a bit extreme, but you know what I mean? It's just like having her do this. I would expect that kind of an arc. At the moment, it's doing that and straight down. So take a look at your reference. I think it should be in there. And if it is this kind of a pose, maybe you just need to push her forward, this section, a little bit more forward. Yeah, and be careful, you don't want to hyperextend. It feels like super straight. I don't think it's super straight on your reference. It might be like around here. This is a nice... That's what I would say the maximum. But this super straightness, you go from all of a sudden a bent to a clicky. Those things cause a click. So yeah. Cool, let's keep moving. Let me take a mini break and see what's happening. There's no wars in the chat, is there? Hopefully you guys are being nice to one another. The community, so like, you know, you guys are all welcome to chat and chit chat and do stuff and talk. Join the Discord and just chat to your, you know, community. Let's see what Captain Zaz is saying. She says that's cool, can't wait to see the animation part here. I hope maybe a little One Piece inspired. Yeah, it's going to be a Dragon Ball Z style animation with lots of like teleporting and fighting with effects and stuff. I just want to make sure that it's you know, it looks fun and something that you guys would see when you watch Dragon Ball Z or One Piece or Bleach, you know. So hopefully it's something really fun for you to enjoy. And let me know in the chat, guys, if you do want to see. I'm recording behind the scenes of all what I'm doing. So in the video, when I do upload it, you will see the, you know, animation. And then I have like a good 7 hours of footage where I will commentate and narrate and speed things up and make it fun for you to watch. If that's something that interests you, let me know in the chat, you know, just to see behind the scenes of me doing stuff and me just going, oh my God, animation. So let me know in the chat if you want to see that. Then I'll have a very long 5-part behind the scenes chat. It won't be a tutorial. It'll be behind the scenes of, hey, I did this. Look, fingers look better like that. Or how I did this effect. So cool. I'm doing well. Learning animation is always super fun. I'm trying to challenge myself by animating 2 characters this time, for example. I'm looking forward to the break though. Yeah, 2 characters makes things really complicated, but you learn so much from it. So I do encourage you guys to do that. But if you are in body mechanics or learning animation, just work on 1 character at a time. And once you become confident, work on a more complex character. So start with something simple. Start with a bouncing ball. Then with a character with 2 legs. Then move on to something a bit more detailed like this, what Aiden is doing. And then finally move on to a very complex character. Once you do those, then I would say, yeah, use 2 characters. See how you feel. That's awesome. I'd love to see that behind the scenes. Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's interest, I'll definitely create something like that, where you have like a professional animator talking about the process, and you guys see how I do the effects, and you know, you get to learn how to. Because I think anime is super awesome, and I think a lot of people liked Arcane, so that will be something. Hopefully, you guys can see behind the scenes how they do that kind of stuff. Just me doing it though, not them, of course. Cool. All right, let's continue. Let's go back to animation. All right. I think you have the awesome idea. Like the idea is awesome where you go, that. I just think this is the moment where it needs to be constant. Like, you know, I always talk about add more spacing so it feels a bit more like you start off slow and you speed up. Over here, when she leans forward, this whole body moves in 1 unit. So there's 2 things. I would just say have this happen a bit more slower so it feels like she's doing this. You're going to see my amazing acting, by the way. You know, it feels a bit more elegant if it's delayed and slower and prolonged. So it's like, let me do some acting. You know, it's very, you've got that very contained leaning forward. And I would expect your graph editor will be like this. So for your rotation, you'll be leaning back, forwards, very linear-ish, and then stopping. That part would be quite linear when you're leaning forward, and it wouldn't be happening straight away. It'll be happening quite contained. And as you slow down, it should have something like this. Like you're really easing into that stop. So that's what I would say. I would say what's happening here is great. We want to see that a bit more slowly. Let's see. I think soon as she starts to move, it would be like, dun, like you'd want to open the eyes. Soon as she starts to move, she notices. Like before she moves, you want to open those eyes. Like what you have here is awesome. You probably want that a little bit earlier. Like this. Let's go. I like animating the eyes. So pop, pop, pop. She moves on there. 150. Pops and then notices. So I'm probably exaggerating this. Notices. Keeps it big. Now, just adding that I think is going to really help. And also when we do that, we want to raise the eyebrows. Whoops, that's not great. Oh my god, why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. It's not listening to me, guys. Okay. It's a little bit messy, but the point is not to be perfect. It's just to show you, you know, the idea behind what I'm trying to do. When she realizes that the finger just pops off. Let's say there, pop, the eyebrows start to raise. Raising up, like, whoa, oh my god. Mouth can do, whoa. Yeah, so if we just open those eyes, raise those eyebrows and open the mouth, or even for the mouth, we could do something like this. Like, something a bit more. Like you can go into this much earlier, something like this. Yeah. So I think that's going to really help exaggerate what you already have there. Yeah, and I think that running around stuff, you've like nailed it down. I can definitely see the reference in that that running around stuff there. Yeah, I'm going to leave the last part because I think you're doing a good job there. I think we are running out of time a little bit for your feedback. I would just say as a general note, Aiden, just track the hips when they're moving around. Sometimes you have moments where you just hit a wall and stops. Like for example, there. She jumps left, left, there. For example, look where the hips are, this section. Don't be afraid to continue with that momentum a little bit more. Based on how much you're going left, 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 I'll go a bit more and then start to come out of that before you go screen right. And even when you go screen right here, look, right, right, you stop. Just don't worry about going a little bit more and settling back in. Yeah, and all the other stuff after that is nice. See if you can get like, see if you can pull like the what do you call those? The tweakers or like the sculptors, just so you can get something a bit more curved, slightly curved. I don't want it to be like cloudy meatballs, you know, Flynn, but just ever so slightly. Cool, that's my feedback for you, Aiden. So yeah, it's looking really awesome. Let's take a look at the shot one more time. Comes in, da 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 da. Whoop. Anyone around? Ah, yeah. Click. Oh no. Runs around. Whoop. Okay, let's stop. Oh no, really fun, super fun. So yeah, keep up the good work. All right. That was Aiden's shot. So we've looked at Stella, Aiden. Let's go to Mona. Mona is next. So thank you for that, Aiden. Looking good. Keep going. Nice to see your shots again, by the way. So let's see what's happening in the chat. So guys, if you're watching and you're enjoying, hit the like, please. Okay, Bibs, we're gonna see you having 100%. Oh yes, yes, you will see me having. Actually, I recorded the behind the scenes, so you see me animating without seeing me. So I'm just gonna narrate on top, like you will see this. No, not that. You will see, for example. Okay, Microsoft Hotmail. No, you will see basically like me animating and just me just going, oh, around here I kind of did this and I did a bit of that. It was fun. I don't know why I'm doing that all the time, but yeah. So it will just be a recording of me talking on top of my screen that's already been recorded. So, but yeah, I will explain this. It was really annoying because this kept happening. And it's cool because you can see me changing my ideas while I'm animating. Because once I've animated it, I can see it's not working. I don't want to force it. I want to make sure like the animation that I do, you guys enjoy. So you can see my thought process. I'm not giving too much away, but yeah. Wait again. Fartif versus Blender was okay. Wait, do you guys want to see a Blender me versus Fartif versus Blender part 2, where I'm just like not enjoying it? Well, Blender's actually awesome, so I don't want to talk bad about it. Okay, continue with the next shot. So this is Mona's shot, so let's play and see what's going on. Okay. So this is from assignment 2 from Anham School, and this is Mona's shot. I'm familiar with this shot. So you've updated your shot, picks up, turns around, blank. And I noticed the first pass spline, and it is a work in progress. Looking good, coming along. I think your key poses are all there. One thing that I noticed before I even look at the beginning, if you look at the elbow here, there's a lot of like pulling up, down. It's if, for example, this is your arm and this is the elbow shape you have, Mona. Let's go. Is Mona in the chat, by the way? If you can just drop a little message. This box gave me such a headache. Okay, I can understand. It's first of all, it's IK hands, and number 2, it's constraining it onto something. So yes, but first of all, let's focus just before you grab the box, because see how your arm is straight? That's because you're extending a bit too much, and then all of a sudden you don't go forward as much. That's why the elbow bends. For example, if I look at your hand over here, let's zoom in. So whenever you see clicks and pops, guys, on your elbows or your knees, it's telling you that you're either not moving, you're moving too far ahead and then slowing down. So you're overstretching and then you're pulling back, or you're doing the opposite. You're not going forward enough where your character's moving, and then all of a sudden you're having to move forward. So it just tells you that the spacing or the position of your character needs to adjust a little bit. For example, from here, if you look at the hand, it goes down, down, down. If you look at the hands here, it just goes sideways, right, right, right. It doesn't go down. And because of that, the body's going down and you start to get a bend on the arm, or like the elbow. 1, 2, 3, there. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your hand is going down. You're following the path of that. That's the first thing, and that's going to help prevent, you know. And I totally appreciate like you're moving your hand this way to get it ready for this, but we can do something like this. So if you want to go all the way down to grab, just look at what arcs you're doing. You're using this, you're doing that, and this. So your motion downwards is doing this and that. You can recreate this again. So you can still from here onwards go down, then grab. You don't have to be too far out. You can just be ever so slightly out. Yeah, from there onwards it's fine. Look, you're doing this, which is great. But you need to start moving down from around here. You know? We're just going sideways. We need to start moving down as well. That's the first thing. Let's take a look. Were there any areas, Mona, that you, besides the box, that you found quite frustrating, or that you needed like extra focusing on? Oh, and also the eyes really help just to make him a bit more cheeky. If you can, it helps. If we do something like this, and I know it's not easy, like with this rig, but see what you can do. Whoops, I've got carried away there. You know, when you have those half eyes on your characters, they just become so much more arrogant and cheeky and confident. And it just looks fun. You don't have to change the pose too much. You just stay in that cheeky pose. Nope. Just do this. Like, you know, I've got this. That kind of thing. Let's see. Let's see if I take away from the bottom as well. Like a little squint. There we go. Something like that, or something like this. Compared to that. That's happy. You can keep it like that. I'm just playing around, just see what happens. So let's see. I think the changing of the weight in turn was a little hard. Okay, let's see. So we've looked over here. So the notes that I gave you, Mona, for the hand or the arms over here applies to this as well. We're having the same thing with the arms. So I'm not going to go over that again. I think you can apply that across. So let's see. So first of all, I reacted to this. What am I seeing here? And I noticed that you're rotating this upwards. For you to rotate that means you need to push this bit and lift it upwards. For like, okay, for this box to rotate like that, your hands would need to be around here. Like this. Like the rotation is happening from there. You know, for this to lift, you need to be holding here and the other side there. So I think that's the first thing, because if I look over here as well, look how it's going. If anything, I'm seeing this bit lift a bit more than that bit. Yeah, so I think that is a big thing. Like you're lifting up from, it's almost straight. There's a bit of a wobble. So yeah, this is a big note, I would say, because it's just going up straight. This lifting from the back really like kills off the weight a little bit. So I would just try to keep that a bit more static. There is a little bit shifting and moving around, tiny bits, but it's not as much as, yeah, this is too much. Just keep it straight. Yeah, you see this bit? It's just straight. Yeah. I think that's partly why this feels like the weight is a little bit off. I think the previous one that I saw from you was a little bit more closer. I think we've pushed this a little bit too much. So I would just revert back to what was happening there. Can you see? We don't see the top of the box. We see all of this. So, yeah. And then when you go to the very top and you lean backwards, this is leaning more towards you. You do that over here, which is awesome. There, that's great. Just be careful that it doesn't move in one axis only. Once you get to the very top, there, it just moves towards you, whereas you're just rotating. Yep. Okay. You guys are funny in the chat. Oh yeah, I got this. Heavy watts, easy peasy. Yeah, I know, right? So that's for that. But I think the timing of rising up is good. I think your rotations are good. Be careful around here. You're still like facing this way, facing that way. So you've rotated upwards quite early. So let's just delay that a little bit, because if you have something like this holding, I'm going to do stickman drawings just to get the idea across. So if you have that, it's going to feel like you're struggling a bit more for longer. That really helps. And guys, we are 1 hour into the stream and I've only gone through like 3 shots, which means, yeah, 1 hour, 20 minutes each. So, we'll be continuing the stream. It's just taking, a little bit longer than usual. So I'll continue the stream just so you guys know. But I want to make sure everyone gets all the feedback they need. Cool. All right. So one thing over here you can do, Mona, is the head, the chest, and the body is all moving at the same time. We could just start to break things up with just like have the head rotating. Like when your eyes start to move, you can start to move the head and then start rotating the chest and then the body, leave it where it is. So I feel like it's all happening at the same time. We just need to break things up a little bit and then have like head, chest, this guy, and then the hips. Excuse me. And then that turn should feel much more smoother. And I'm looking at your reference. Look at the amount you move over here. It's tiny. Because when you're holding something really heavy, it takes a little bit of time to move and then you gain momentum and then you get big spacing. But if I look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, look how far you've turned compared to you over here. So you get to this position very early and you're still trying to get there. Yeah. So I wouldn't turn so early. Like you're moving quite a lot here compared to this. So make your spacing a bit more smaller. Don't rush out of the pose so quickly. Okay, and here, I think what helps is, just be careful the box goes dunk down quite a bit. I would expect the box to be kind of attached to your body, and every time you move, it moves exactly the same, but then when you land, it goes down a bit. So if this is me and this is the box, it's the same. There's a bit of an offset on this, so it's like thunk, thunk, thunk. It's moving the same amount, but when I stop, it continues for a split second because of the weight. So try to have a bit more of that, and let's just not move the character so much more earlier than your reference. Okay, you do have some ups and downs, which is nice. Be careful, you've got some strong rotations happening on the box around here. There, like click, there over one frame. Whereas you're still kind of like in this position, and your body is still leaning backwards. That's not that much like this. So let's just still have that. It's only once you get around, look, even here, it's still rotating backwards, like it's leaning towards the body. Like this, yeah? It's only like from around here, even up to 131. It's only, even there, look, you push, you're actually rotating it forward more. And there, like from 137 is when you start to rotate inwards. Yeah? So I think we start to rotate and move the box a little bit early, Mona. So let's just delay that a little bit. Because your poses are there. Yeah. I will probably like give a demo at some point with a character holding an object, moving it around, and show you guys how to stabilize and animate your character holding something and making it feel connected. Cool? Let me know in the chat if that's something you guys would like to see, to a character and an object interacting. So yeah, let me know in the chat, and I'll try to set a demo up for that. But I think I'm going to leave it there, Mona. It's definitely coming along. Let's see if there's lost anything. But I would say that's the major one. I think your finger poses are nice. It really feels like you're gripsing. Maybe we can pull these out. I like you got the elbows out. Now if we can just pull them back so it's just on the corner of the box, like you're almost wrapping your hands on your arms around it like this. You just need to rotate them backwards, like pull the controller for the elbows back, so it's a bit more like this. Cool. Okay, let's see what you're saying. You would like to see a demo like that. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I will try to arrange that if it's going to be helpful for everyone. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. Cool. That's going to be it from me, Mona. Hopefully those were helpful. Let's take one last look at your shot. Yeah, it's definitely getting there. I would just I would just say keep working on it. But I can see the last part is definitely a work in progress. Like here, you're definitely working on it. Just be careful that only the chest is not the only part that moves. Here, you still incorporate the body. Yeah, feels like the chest moves a bit more than the body. So let's make sure that pull back from the chest a bit and then move the body a bit more. Cool. Nice work. Keep it up, and I look forward to seeing the next boss, and I will see the next boss. Cool. All right, we'll move on to Zainab. Thank you, Mona. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat before I continue to the next shot. Cool. Mona would like to see the demo. No, you're welcome, Mona. Captain Zazu is always chatty in the chat. You're welcome. Let me just put a little... That's me. That's what I'm doing right now. Evil laugh. Cool. All right, let's continue. Let's see Zainab's shot. Feel free to ask me any questions regarding the animation if you guys want, or if you're interested in the chat. All right, let's continue. So let's see Zainab's shot.
Can you believe the nerve with that guy calling me dramatic?
Two characters walking, talking. Nice.
Can you believe the nerve with that guy calling me dramatic?
I don't think I can play the whole thing with the audio because I think YouTube doesn't like. Just let me know, Zainab, is this the first time I've ever animated two characters in a shot? Yeah. Yep. It's challenging. So what level are you on this? Is this your first blind pass? Did you animate this and you're getting extra feedback? If you can let me know, that would be great. And just let me know, the audio is from a film, right? Or a TV series. What is it from?
Can you believe the nerve with that guy calling me dramatic? Do not start.
Exactly.
Okay. Whoops. I'll mute and I'll play. He's calling me dramatic. Oh, it's very long shot. Well, very nice. Oh, okay. She gets into the car as well. Ooh, that's like 360 frames. That's a lot. I won't be able to do the whole thing, Zainab. That's a lot with two characters. But we can definitely focus on some of your poses. Cool. I'd love to hear any notes you have, anything that stands out. I've just started adding in some lips to give my brain a small break from the full body. Yes, lip sync is... it's a lot. Like what you're doing here, not only is two characters, but they're talking, they're walking. And on top of that, she is getting in a car. And on top of that... it's like two characters. It's quite a lot of work. Okay, cool. So I think her walking, I'm going to focus on the mechanics first. Be careful when he walks around here, he becomes a bit bendy, like you're having a foot roll, and that's usually when the foots are up like this. So just keep an eye. I know you can't see your body from here, but it's a full shot here, so that's still going to matter. I would say you can keep your foot flat, but once this foot goes up, you need to be around there. And this, I think, you might want to straighten this foot out a bit more around here. It feels a bit too, like based on what you have here. Whoops, where is it? There we go. It feels a bit too, like you need to stretch this foot a bit more forward based on this pose and have him a bit further ahead as well. So keep an eye on this bottom half of the body. How long is your shot for there? Yeah, even here, he feels very bendy, like he's crouching down because he's quite tall. So even if he's tall, that's fine. Just raise him up and have him look slightly lower. I know you're matching your friend over here, or who you've actually recorded your recording with for your performance, but yeah, sometimes we need to take the performance of this character and put it into the rig that we have. So he feels very crouchy. She feels fine. She feels really good. You just need to have him overall higher. Yeah, that moment there, what she's doing with the... What did she say?
with that guy calling me dramatic.
Can you guys hear the audio of like, can you hear the audio of the clip?
Calling me dramatic. That guy calling me dramatic.
Yeah, let me know in the chat if you can actually hear the audio.
Calling me dramatic.
Like, what she's saying is that guy calling me dramatic. I really like that. Like, the performance is nice, and the animation is nice as well.
That guy calling me dramatic.
That guy calling me dramatic. I think you can hold that a little bit more.
Can you believe that guy calling me dramatic?
You're still turning your head, whereas you hold it there, and then you go dramatic. It's nice. And you do have a nice arc. This is the part where you can actually go calling me dramatic, like she's a bit cuckoo. You know, like that's where you want some white around the eyes. Oh, I've really destroyed it there. But, you know, and then raise the eyebrows up, pull these eyebrows up. So more white on the eyes, as in like open the eyes itself, the lids, the upper lid and the bottom lid, and just raise the eyebrows up. It's calling me dramatic. You know, it's not great, but like my drawing is not great on this one, but you get the idea. It's just to make it, you know, he's calling me dramatic. And like you can see the white in my eyes when I'm going a bit like off mental. And for example, small stuff like your foot is about to land. So I'm seeing your foot here. Well, let's see. There. So when your foot lands, click there. I would expect your body to go down. So when you do this little swaying across, just make sure that your body goes down and up. The moment it does this, just make sure it's aligned with when you plant. Great. Now the body goes down. You kind of go straight or screen left. So, but then you do rise up. So it's nice. You just need the downwards motion. Down, and then you come back into this, which is super awesome. And that dramatic is your moment to really like hit the accent, go, calling me, like squash the face, calling me dramatic, which really plays into her performance. And you even do it here, like calling me, show a lot of teeth for that. Calling me, E, you show a lot of teeth. So that's your moment to squash the face, which you are doing here, which is nice. Get a bit more squint, but show the teeth, calling me. Usually when you do it E, like I'm going to have a class on teeth, calling me. A little bit of teeth. Yeah, something like that. A lot of teeth. Show a lot of teeth for E's and S's. So when you go shh, shh, it's closed. When it's E, me, you have a little gap between the two teeth, and that is an E. So you want to show that over there, for this tooth, the mouth, sorry.
Do not start.
Exactly.
That is very cool. Like, I like the snappiness of her. What did she say?
Do not start.
Exactly.
Do not start. Like, you don't have to change the facial expressions you have here. It's good. I really like the body language and the snappiness of the head. It really works. Let me see if you guys can hear the audio. Yes, we hear the audio. It's alive. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Feel like a politician all of a sudden. Oh yeah, those eyes, that's fun. Maybe also a bit of a stretch in the mouth. Yeah. Especially when you're, what's she say, me? I feel like dramatic. Yeah, that you are opening the mouth, but see, mouth shapes are interesting because you sometimes need to make the shape based on the angle the head is in. You don't want to see the bottom of the teeth, like you're, fillings and stuff like that. But you also don't want the bottom teeth to disappear if you have a specific shape. I would need a lip sync takes a long time, so I'm not going to give too much lip sync stuff, but you can definitely go bigger with the mouth. I really like this section of your show. It's my favorite bit.
Do not start.
Do not start. But when you have that moving hold going forward,
Do not start.
there. I like how you're completely moving forward. Make that very, very small. You want it to feel like do not start, and then she stops. We don't want her to fully stop. We want her to continue moving forward like you have over here, but we want it to feel snappy and sharp, like she's really like, hey, don't start with me. So it's going to blend in with that performance you have here.
Do not start.
Yeah, do not start. That's great. Just don't keep moving forward. Make that forward motion. Like get your curves and all the motion. Come on. Is it moving? No. There we go. So let's just say your rotation and your translation and whatever you've got there is like this. That's great. Grab from here, squeeze down, so it's like this, you know? So you go, do not start. And it's almost like a stop. Okay.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you have this? Exactly how many cups of coffee?
You know what would be nice over here?
Start.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you have this?
Start.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you have this?
Start.
Exactly. How many cups of coffee did you have?
When she rolls her eyes, screen left, you can also like roll her head as well, like a little bit of an arc where the nose goes up and down, so the head is going up and down rather than just left. So if you look at my eyes, look deep into my eyes, guys. So when you go there, you could just go, like, you just roll your eyes, you know, you're just like, don't tell me what to do, that kind of thing. So it's more of a, no, I'm talking, rolling my eyes, but I'm doing that subconsciously. I'm doing that with my head as well. So I'm like, it doesn't have to be big, just a small rainbowish kind of arc on the head. That's it. She does that. There, when she does that, and you do it a bit, but don't be afraid to just do it a bit more. You're doing it there as well, much more. See? Yeah, you're doing it much more there, and you can exaggerate this. Cool. Right, makes sense. No, you're welcome. I'm running through it.
How many cups of coffee did you have this?
Start.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you have this?
Start.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you have this?
Start.
Exactly how many cups of coffee did you?
You know when she puts her head down and he says, how many cups of coffee did you have? When she rolls her eyes, and she's there and he goes, how many cups of coffee did you? She could have this small thing where she's just like, a small head shake, like, she doesn't have to change the pose. It could still be the same
Exactly how many cups of coffee?
there, but it's just a small little head shake, side to side. It doesn't have to be like a big arc, just very static. It's like, just like, what you're getting on my, like, you're pushing me, guy, Steve. I'm gonna call him Steve. So I'll focus on your main character for this because I don't think I can get through both of them. But does that make sense, Zazu? All right. So let's see up until here. See some mechanics.
I'm just going to apologize to you.
That's really nice. Your little look away and then back to the character to acknowledge him. When you look away, it's usually a case of, oh, I'm thinking about something. I've made my mind up, or you're processing something that you want to decide when
I'm
you
just
look
going to
away.
apologize to you right now. It's going to be
Morning.
It's just a little bit sharp. It happens a bit too quick.
Have this morning.
Yeah, maybe just like, start your eyes moving, and as you move, there, do a blink. And have your blink happen 1, 2 in 2 frames. As you open, you're already looking here. And that's going to be your moment to stay in this pose, this a little bit longer. So you go, as you go for a blink, 1, 2, then the eyes close. But you want the eyes to keep moving this way. And when you open your eyes, 1, 2, you're already looking here. And then that means you're going to be staying in this pose for longer. And that's going to be your moment to kind of like soak that moment where she's looking away and thinking a beat longer. Yep, Stevie.
I'm just going to apologize to you right now. It's going to be...
I think you just need to be careful. There's a bit of a pop happening here. I think you're over... Maybe the leg is going forward, or like you're rotating and it's causing this leg to straighten. So keep an eye on that. Like look at it from world perspectives to see what's happening with this leg. There. Yeah? It's not happening with this one. So keep an eye out for that. And you do rotate that way a bit straight. So just try to push through and come out. Like try to create an arc with that. Yeah? It just rotates in like a linear fashion there a little bit. And then when you do this, see how the head is rotating, but the body's quite straight? Don't be afraid to tilt the body and go, like rotate the whole body. Not too much. But if that head is moving, that means this body needs to be tilting this way as well. And as you get there, then you can come back into this, You want to be from here. Like this.
Now, it's going to be...
Have this morning?
I'm just going to apologize to you right now. It's going to be...
Yeah, you want a bit more of a... You want a small down and up. So she goes slightly down before she goes for this up.
It's going to be really
And then sits down. Yeah? So we need some more ups and downs around here.
really long day for you, and I'm sorry.
Oh, that's super awesome. I really like this pose that you have here. Just be careful. When you do land, it feels like she's in this pose and she just goes backwards. It feels a little bit linear. And it could be towards the end of your shot where you've not worked quite a lot. And it seems like the part of your shot where you've still working on this. But yeah, I would say just be careful. You still want like those ups and downs happening when you're landing. And when she does like put her butt onto the car seats in the back, it can be quite a bit more sharper. But I think we still need a bit more up and down around there. See, you go down and then you go this way. Quite linear. So I think what you can do is when you go here, just go back and up and then land yourself like this. Yeah. So even if you're doing this, I think you can get something like that. Yeah. Yeah, getting into cars is a bit tricky. Still working. Yeah, it's difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, Zazu. If you're Zazu, then I'm Rafiki, just so you know. Are you is the nickname Zazu from The Lion King? Just to make sure, is it just Zazu? Something else?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's nice.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say do something more like this, but you are doing it in your reference. I just saw it. I was going to say when she looks at him, sorry. You want to get into that pose? So I'm going to be her for now, because I can be. So I'll lean back and look at you and go, sorry. That's my American accent. But kind of see how you've already almost finished leaning? And then you push that way. So you've almost stopped leaning backwards. You're still moving. You come to the midway point, and then you go, sorry. Or, sorry. I'm not going to keep doing the American accent. I think it'll be nice for you to get into that position and almost stop for a beat. So, sorry. So, that'll be a nice little accent to hit. That is my Egyptian nickname next to Zula. Okay, cool. Rafiki is my nickname to Vati. No, I'm joking. I thought it was from Lion King that you had it. But okay, cool. Zuba, Zazu, Zainab. Cool. I just thought we were having Lion King nicknames. But cool. That's going to be my feedback for you, Zazu. So let's take a look at your shot one more time.
Can you believe the nerve of that guy calling me?
Yeah, you got some really nice stuff in there. It's a lot of mechanics and locomotion that we need to work on. And when you are moving those shoulders, try to incorporate chest rotation. So you do stuff like this. Like I just saw you lifting your shoulders. That's great. When you do that, just try to the body back and forward a tiny bit. And if you do that, that means the hips need to, the body also needs to go up and down as well to feel more weight. So there's lots to do, but there's lots of positives to take from this. So I would encourage you to keep going. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this turns out. Keep going. And yeah, if we do another animation review, I'd love to see how far this goes. Cool. No. You learn so much from the most difficult shots. So, you know, what's Stella saying? The more I look at it, the more I realize how terribly difficult the show is. And I love Zazu from like, yeah, I do think this is a very difficult shot and you are tackling it very well. Oh, one thing I realized. Look at them walking. They're walking at the same time. Both legs, contact. Both legs, move forward. So that's tweening. So what you want to do is like change her or him a little bit. Like change the poses a little bit so they're offset. So they're not both just in sync. They're not in sync. So not in sync like Justin Timberlake, but in sync. They're not synced walking together. So just to put a little bit of an offset. Cool. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you. Yeah, the shot's looking awesome and keep it up. All right, thank you, Zazu. Let's go next to the next shot. No, you're welcome. I hope you help. I hope it helped, the feedback. All right, let's see. Bibiana's shot.
Amazing.
So I see you have two. One is with the reference, one's without.
Amazing.
Cool, let's see the reference. So he's trying to open this can or drink. What is it? A can? Soup? Coke? What is it, Bibiana? I was fixing last night, so there's eggs in it. No, don't worry about it. Like, don't, like, you guys can show me any shots you want at any stage. So don't be silly. Cool. Let's take a look. Huh?
Amazing. Amazing.
Oh, you're supposed to have another character. So this lady here, or this, when the camera pans out,
Amazing.
she is looking at him going, amazing, like sarcastically, right? That's what I think it is. I would try to lift up, slam down, and stop. So if you look at me right now, if I have my phone and I'm like that, you see when you bring it down, there's something vibrational. Bang, like this. See how it just wobbles? That you want to get that kind of tension. So when you lift up a bit, down. So the up is actually the anticipation. So we're not always, if you want to go up, guys, your down is the anticipation. If you want to go downwards, whatever you are, organically, not a robot, up would be your anticipation. So the opposite direction to where you're going is always going to be your anticipation. So if she's doing down, you would want it to go up. So where is it? Which is great there. When you push down, be careful not to go out of frame. When you push down there, I would say around here is enough to go down, and all you need is an up, down, up, down, up, down, like vibrational. So the spacing gets smaller and smaller and tighter and tighter. I think it's a bit too, it goes up great, boing, it does that. So you need the frames to be a bit more tighter and the spacing to get smaller and smaller. So that's what I think we need for this section. In terms of posing, I think it's cool. It would be nice to get this rotated a bit more upwards so we can see the fingers like this, you know. so we can see the fingers from this angle. So let's just try to see if we can get a pose for this. So how I would do it, I like the fact you have this pose. I would maybe so let's just say this is like that. What did you think, guys? So, so we can see the fingers wrapping around this. And then this guy here, it'll be nice to just get like the fingers wrapped on top. It's not great drawing, but I think you get the idea. So he's just trying to like open the screw on top. And that way we see the fingers, and we see this one over here as well. Just getting this part of the lid open like that, it makes sense. But I think for him, he's a lizard. It'll be more funny just to get his fingers across there. And if you can, I would super push his teeth, like really show those teeth. And when we're really angry, try to get a bit more white if you can. That just pushes it a little bit more. So something along the lines of this to this, it's nice. It's just, let's see those fingers, let's see those claws there. Mr. Angry compared to angry. Just pushing after us and make the playgrass to you. I made the change exactly like this, and that's what I'm working on right now. I read your mind. That's exactly what's happening. I knew that's what you were going to do. It's a nice overlap on the hair, or the hairs that he has. That's super cool. I like this pause that you have. You've got the right idea in terms of performance. Like, yeah. I would try to keep the body as static as possible, and maybe open the eyebrows a bit more quicker. So, yeah. So, like, look at my timing. I'm going to try to open my phone. Like you want that kind of sharp, what was that? Who's there? That kind of thing. Once again. You want to see it one more time? Watch the recording again. I'm not doing free performance. So when you do turn around, it's like this. You do that, and I will just keep it simple. Just like go down and upwards, like just that. Up and down feels a little bit, you want to just try to get like an anticipation. The whole body kind of goes down a bit and then up. And when you are turning, try to add a blink. We always kind of turn in blinks 99% of the time. So whenever I'm going to look left, it'll be there. We can look without blinking. But more often than not, it's always a blink with an eye direction to a different area. So, yeah. All right. Let me see if you guys are saying anything in the chat. Do you guys have any questions? By the way, at the end of this, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. Animation, Maya, body mechanics, performance, films I've worked on, or just animation in general. Or maybe like films. Cool. So, let's see what Bibiana's saying. After I've submitted claim loss, once again, yeah, open the eyes for us to look nicer and also give me more time to live. Yep, no, I agree. Yep. You've read my mind. Okay, let's continue. So, this whole area here. So, I think the reveal from the camera,
Amazing.
okay, let's put the audio off. So, you have the camera going screen left to start with, and forward. And then you're rotating and pulling back. I think this is camera B, or like position B. And this is A. You just need to go from A to B. Like he just needs to be from here to there, like this. One camera move. At the moment, you've got a few things happening there. You've got the camera going left, forward and left, and then rotating and moving, and then pulling back. I think that's, you need to simplify that a little bit. It's a little bit distracting. So I would just say go from this position, 56. 56 is the last frame before your camera moves. And then have the camera go from 56 all the way to 70. B. And just make it linear. That should make this a little bit less distracting. And when he's looking, is she taller than him or is she around here? That's quite important because he's looking straight and over here you're looking up. I would assume the lady is going to be much more taller and bigger than him. So that means that your pose here means he's going to be looking at her. Snaky. You know? So unless, unless she is here and he's on top of a cupboard that she's trying to reach into. So think about that. I'm looking at the chat. So really put that into consideration, Bibiana. And because if your character is looking, because over here he looks like he's looking up, but over here when he's really looking at her, he's looking straight ahead. So that's two different positions to look at. It's basically her face. Oh, okay. So like around here is her face, really big. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if we can push that. This is super cool. Yeah, I do like this pose. Just be careful. He feels a little bit off balance, so you might need to push this foot around there. This one here. Just having them both straight like this feels like he'll slightly tip over. So try to push this leg a bit around there. I think the whole is nice. Just be careful the tail pop. That's a big spacing. So we need to like always look at the tails here. You want to follow the arc of the tail. So let's just work on those arcs a little bit for the tail. Because I think the idea is right. Okay. Yeah. Something like that. And then that moment here where you have it completely paused, I'm guessing you're still working on it, but you could still have like a quiet, just a moment where he or she breathes. So it's he gets into that position and it's a inhale, exhale. It doesn't have to be really big, just so we have a moving hold for the character. So he or she is not completely static, and we, just to keep the character alive as well. There. So it's really nice how you have a down, compression, boing. And I like how when the character is compressed, you have this moment. Where is it? There we go. Like, it's not just a complete squash, it's the whole body is bending, which is what you want, and you're doing it. So it's awesome. So when you come down, maybe one more frame, squash this a little bit more. So you haven't, see how you're squashing there? Push. And then maybe the eyes can get bigger. Boing, boing. As he squashes, just open the eyes, like really. And then when he goes back up, just go back to normal again. And even when he snaps up, like he comes down, pop. Yeah, let's have a little breathing moment here. And let's see what your final pose is. Yeah. Any questions, Bibiana? I think this is looking really cool. Yeah, keep going. Hopefully those notes are going to be helpful for you. And we'll see an updated version of your shot. So, yeah, keep it up. Awesome stuff. Nice. So, we are an hour, 40 minutes. And yeah, I could do the last shot over here if Stella's still around. That way we'll have like 2 hours of live stream and then we'll see all shots, including Stella's second shot. And awesome, you have a reference on this one. I have seen it, by the way. So let me just see what's happening in the chat and then we'll go for our final animation. And then I'll take some questions if you guys want to ask me some questions outside of this. So let's see what's happening at the end. It's basically a face, we'll see your face and eyes. And it looks a little off, but I'm still here. Okay. I think the last pose you had over there, Bibiana, I think it's cool. Maybe a little bit tweaking. Let me see last pose. 1 second, Stella. Let me just take a look at the last pose and then we'll move on to your shot. Well, what's happening? It's not working. Let me refresh. There. Oh, he looks very much like Mushu from Mulan. I think this is cool. Okay, let's get one person there that's a little bit more stronger. I think it's this section that's leaning too far ahead. Look at Mushu from Mulan. Yeah, it's this section here. We just need to whip his body back a little bit. And you can even have him like... Ugh. I've had enough. I really don't like sketching with Wacom. I like using the iPad. We're all artists. Okay, cool. Something like this, you know? And then you can have like his hands just... Ugh. I've had enough. Take me home. Forget this. And the cup could be even on the floor. Spilling. Yeah? That's more like Mushu. Like he's just given up. So from these two, if I go from there to this, just make sure you pull that body back and we get this super snaky-like. So what do you think? You've squeezed that last pose out of me. I was like, yeah, okay. I know, Bibiana. Snaky. I've had enough. So yeah. So we can go from here to get something like this. And even just drop the arms down and like just... I would just give up with the cup or whatever it is because he's just had enough, right? So yeah. Having too much fun. Cool. All right. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. And I'll move on to our last feedback with Stella. Cool. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, we're almost 2 hours in. Hit the like, drop a little comment on the stream, and yeah, let's do this. Last one. Hey, Stella. Yep, you're still here. Cool. All right, let's play the movie. See what's going on.
You know, I'm really glad that I get to see you because I wish you nothing but the worst.
I have to pause it a little bit so we don't get a long clip from a movie.
The rest of your miserable existence.
Cool. So first thing, I would recommend Stella, not in grayscale, especially like
I'm really glad that
for this eye. I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe when you were like doing the play blast, you accidentally hit the grayscale on. But when we have grayscale, like this is fine. Everything here is awesome. It's just when I have that and I can't see the eye, it's just a little bit distracting. But I will focus on your animation, obviously. So let's see what she's saying.
you know, I'm really glad that I get to see you because
Okay, let's work on the focus on those 100 frames.
you know, I'm really glad that I get to see you because you know.
I think this is really nice. Just based on her body language, you're moving much more here and you've managed to contain your character here. For, yeah, I'm really glad to, you know.
I'm really glad that I get to see you because
That whole I get to see you is very kind of like Disney, Pixar-ish kind of to see you. It's very that kind of stuff. I see it happening in, what was it? It was Inside Out, that girl, Riley. Yeah, she does that kind of, kind of motion where like the head goes down and up and then the body follows. Be careful, this part feels like the head is stretching screen right. So if you have translation there, be careful. We go back. I like that you have the head leaning screen right, but it's just too much neck around here. So maybe still have that, but just pull this back a bit and just do it more with the head. Let me see.
you know, I'm really glad.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much screen right rotation. So it's either the neck rotating this way or it's translation of the head. So pull back on that a little bit because that's your center of gravity, center of line of action for the body. And look how far on screen right you are. So I'd be like leaning more towards pulling your head central and then ever so slightly going screen right. So besides that,
You know, I'm really glad that I get to see you because
hand animation, I really like hand animation.
you know, I'm really glad. You know,
It's really nice.
you know,
And the hands wouldn't be moving fast, slow. But you would have moments where they're not even motion. So you would have some moments where the spacing is ever so slightly bigger and smaller. Be careful, it's kind of going through. And I think those are the areas you're still working on, right? Just let me know in the chat for finger animation because it's difficult, it takes time, and I would just get... How far are you on this anyway? Is this like a old work that you're working on, or is this something that's currently being worked on? Grayscale lately because the scene gets laggy otherwise, so I would get very used to it. I should have switched it back to texture. Yes, especially if you're sending it in for review. Don't animate in texture if it slows down your scene, but if it's for review, then yeah, definitely please try to upload next time in with the textures to obviously help you and me see. Cool, let's keep going.
I'm really glad that I get to see you because you know, I'm really glad that
When there's acting shots, you're gonna see me acting. So like I'm mimicking.
you know, I'm really glad. You know, I'm really glad that you know, I'm really you know, I'm really you know, I'm you know, I'm
There's a small right motion here. It's like, it's not just, it's, like slightly right motion that you've got there, which I like.
you know,
You rise your head, but you rotate screen right. It's just like, like it's not that exaggerated, but I'm obviously doing that to make it more clear. And I think it would be nice to have that in there. Was that a deliberate choice, or was that something that you kind of just missed or just didn't want to add in there? If you can let me know, that'd be great. So when you open your mouth, it's basically the face is like this. So that's the face. That's a stretch. That's a squash. I try to apply that to the head and the mouth and the whole body, or like the whole head, face. When she goes, yeah, it's nice that you're bringing the eyebrows out. Try to incorporate the eyebrows going up when you go, yeah. Because look at when I do it. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe that's just how I talk. Try to lift those eyebrows out, up when you're opening your mouth for the yeah, because you're creating a stretch in the whole face. So squash and stretch is not necessarily grabbing this controller and pushing the body like that. It's mainly posing the facial expressions or the features by the poses. So it's nice you have the eyebrows opening, but you can open, like lift them up more and closer to when you open the mouth. And when you do that, lift the eyelids up and the bottom ones down. So open the eye a little bit as well, so it feels like the whole body is decompressing. And then literally the opposite thing when you do this, bring them back down again. I mean, you don't have to do it all the time, but I think that's a moment where we can apply that. Okay, so let's see what's being said in the chat. You guys are saying, it's in my previous class I already passed the class, but I consider it very much a win. No, it's at a very good level. What I think it just needs someone experienced to just like show you areas to just keep pushing and polishing. It's at a polish stage, but I do feel the fingers, I would say they're in a good place to now go polish and spline plus. So keep working, and yeah, this is definitely like something you can put onto your show reel. And the first one, but I think more so this, because it's showing a lot of performance, what she's thinking, her fingers. If you get the fingers nailed down as well, like the finger animation, and some more breathing beats and stuff, it's yeah, show reel stuff. So good stuff. My finger trying to add the new, but it's subtle compared to the reference. Oh, okay, cool. I think if you follow the nose, you're like really flicking your nose. So I'm gonna go through there. See how you're in your reference, you're rotating upwards and away. You're not doing that here if you follow the nose. You're just going forward, you're not flicking away. So you're doing this, whereas you're coming towards the camera.
Yeah, I'm really glad that...
That's nice. I'm really glad. That's that little, the motion you have, that small, really glad. That the beat of that and the spacing feels nice.
Glad that... I'm really glad that...
So one thing I say that's missing in your shots that I noticed... Up until like frame 140-ish, Stella, I don't think your hips are going up and down. You have a lot of rotation, you have a bit of side to side, but mainly it's just rotation with the chest and the body. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look at this area, or this area, or this area,
I'm really glad that I see you.
It's just rotating. But when you're moving and you're doing this kind of stuff, you're constantly going up and down. Like if I do this, oh, that's amazing. I'm doing like anime characters. I just automatically go to anime. All right, so if that's your body, that's your feet, and then there, your head, whatever. This part of your body, it's always going up and down. So when you're doing all those subtle acting, like, yeah, you're leaning forward and this and that, your hips are always doing an up and down motion. That's one. Your hips are always doing a left and right motion. And number three, your hips are always going backwards and forwards. It's just a case of which one's doing the most. So if you're just standing there and you're like talking, by not like definitely your up and down is the biggest contributing factor. Because you're not like, if you look at your character, if I look at you here, like look at this part of your I think your trousers are grey and your top is black. So if we just focus on this little area as a point of reference. See? Look at that. Yeah, that's an up and down.
I'm really,
And look at your body. Oh, is someone holding the camera? It's not a static camera as well. It's just... Yeah, no, definitely polish. I will hunt you down and find you. Polish this. It's really cool. It's so nice. I just checked out your page. Yep. Okay. So you have ups and downs happening in your reference. So when you drop your hands and shoulders, your body's going down, but you stay static. So all this is moving and rotating, but the body itself, the main thing that moves the whole body left and right, you need to translate that as well. So I would say, unless you're doing this big rotation side to side or forward and backwards, it just means your rotations are bigger than your translations. So please do add in your translations, especially from 1 all the way to 140. From 140 onwards, you move forward. And I do start to see you up and down. Let's see there. Because obviously...
I wish you nothing but the worst
There.
for the rest of your miserable
You have
existence.
ups and downs. That's
I
cool.
wish you nothing but the worst for the rest of your miserable...
Cool. So that is the main thing I would say for this area. I think this rotation forward is a bit too much. Look how much the head and the neck is moving. At the moment, this whole thing is going see you, whereas you could just go lean the chest back a bit as you rotate head down. See you. Like if you were to look at me from the side. There. So can you guys see me? So if I go there, you're doing this. See you, you know? Whereas if you just go chest rotate backward to keep your head in the same spot, see you. So see you, like that. It keeps your head in the same place. There. Like look. Look how much you're rotating forward. It's almost like you're in the same spot, but you've really gone forward. You want to maintain yourself there going, see, like your chest is going back while your head is rotating forward, makes it look like your head is in the same spot from this angle. So you go, see, and then you rotate this forward, the chest forward. See you, you know, that's how you get that. But at the moment, you're having a big rotation with the chest and the body. So, yeah, it's almost static. You want the head to be driving more than the body. So the head is always the key factor. Like it's the one moving first with the majority, 70%. Then I'd say 15%-ish is around here, and then the 5% is the body. Okay? Much more fun than animating humans. Cool. All right, so another 5-6 minutes before we wrap up, because I think it's been a long stream and you guys are tired of hearing from me. Just before you go back around here, just before you could...
I wish you nothing.
That's nice. Like, you lean back to go... That's good. I think you're just missing an anticipation. When you go... Stay there, don't go back. Like you go back. You even have it here. You go back, you stay a bit, and then you go back. That little pause there, you're doing an anticipation. So what you need to do is you could stay there in 95, 96, don't drop your hands. You could see, like you just want a small down and back. You want to, I think what I see from you is you've got good poses, you've got a decent level of understanding of like moving from poses to poses, but you need to stay on some of those poses a little bit longer to make room for a small anticipation. So you're doing that, and then you're moving to the next pose, and then you're moving to the next pose. So from here, it's awesome. I think 96, stay there. So look, just like, try to look in between these two, like around here. See? See in your reference, you're staying static. Oh, you're not static, but you're almost static. That's your moment to hold this pose in 96-ish. Or maybe like 94. Hold that pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then around like 101, 102, just have a small see that a small anticipation before you go backwards. That's what I think is missing. So, okay, now I want to go do some facial stuff. Cool. Do you have any questions, Stella, in the meantime? Yeah, I see that. You guys need I need to drop a little comment. That's me inside right now. Cool. All right. So I think this pose is cool. I think we can get some more asymmetry. So now that you've chosen this part to squash this part of the face by lifting this side of the body, you either need to squash this a bit more or you need to open this up a bit more. So let's do this. Just to push the poses you already have. So that's where you have the eyes. Okay, cool. So what I would do is just try to, get a bit more asymmetry here. So you just pick out the area or like the side of the face you want to squash more, and yeah, just open one side up and squash the other side up. Something along these lines. And then maybe we can raise this up a bit more, relax this one a bit more. Because that's the one where we have the eyebrows, or the eyes a bit more less squinted. This way you're making sure that one side of the face is squashing and stretching. So we're still applying that principle in there. And also at the same time, we're getting some asymmetry. We're not making everything feel kind of the same, just making it a little bit more different. And just trying to add a bit more of an appeal factor. That's it. And the thing is, you're going to be staying in this pose for a while. So it's worth just investing a little bit more time. And yeah, just maybe make this a bit more bigger. Now she's got this kind of like, who are you kind of look. Whoops, let's go forward. Put this down like that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so from this to this, just squashing this side of the face and opening this side of the face, it should help, hopefully. Maybe getting this a bit more puffed cheek around here. So from this to this. Okay. So yeah, just raise the eyebrows, open the eyes, and squash this section. And when you say nothing, you raise your head up. Nothing. So you want your head to be driving the animation when you go. Come down. Nothing with the head. And then with the body and the chest. And then the shoulders. Nothing. I would say comes last. At the moment, you're keeping the body static. Nothing. Yeah. It's the shoulders are coming up with the head and the body. So we just need to break that down a little bit. And just a bit more overlap with the worst. with the worst. So you want a bit more snappiness. At the moment, it's very constant spacing between. So I would say constant spacing, and we need some more breakdowns. So it's at the moment it's constant spacing, so we need to work on that a little bit. Break down the head, chest, and this section with the up and down. Well, cool. I think I'm going to leave it there. It's becoming a long stream, and well, I think that should be enough for you to go off and continue polishing there, Stella. So hopefully you found that helpful. And I'm just going to take 5 minutes, guys, before I finish off the stream, just to see if you guys have any questions, if you want to say anything, say hi. And then we can wrap up the stream. So, yep, if you've enjoyed the stream, hit the like, and yeah, if you've learned something, if you've enjoyed seeing other people's shots, subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and I'll have much more stuff like this. I'll have videos where I'm doing more tutorials, more live streams. Join me on Saturday where I take a look at how Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli. I'll be breaking down the film where I look at really cool scenes that has very interesting animation, cinematography, concept art, character design, and lighting, all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed doing the Spirited Away and the Howl's Moving Castle. So if you do like Studio Ghibli stuff and anime, just in general, so join me for that live stream on Saturday, UK time, 7 p.m. That's when I'll be continuing with that. So yeah. So if you have enjoyed it, hit the like and hit subscribe. So let's see if you guys have any questions before we wrap up. Let's see. Okay, so questions from Bibs. I have same problems as you. I don't hold poses. You guys are just chit-chatting, which is totally fine. Yeah, I don't know what it's about holding poses. Students struggle, unfortunately. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really good tips as always. From the master. No, don't be silly. But I do appreciate you guys. Cool. So I don't see any questions, anything else. So I think if that's it, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you for sending your submissions in. Do join the channel. So I will just show you guys one more time as a reminder. So if you go to the front page, I'm gonna just share my screen. There we go. So if you go over here, to my main page on the channel, just open this browser up and Discord. So click on this Discord link and it will take you to the YouTube channel, or my channel's Discord. And in that Discord channel, you'll have much more information regarding like upcoming animation reviews, live streams, and just demos and tutorials and maybe private workshops that I have. And in the meantime, like I just mentioned, Howl's Moving Castle animation analysis is going to be on the 29th, which is Saturday. Yep, Saturday, London time, 7 p.m. So if you do want to see me, like just go in there and break down a movie that you like, do let me know. I do have the Howl's Moving Castle over here and the Spirited Away. So you can take a look at those and just take a look. And if it's something that you don't mind joining for a live stream, yeah, it's going to be happening on Saturday, so that's about it. Okay, guys, well, we'll leave you there, and it's been an awesome stream, and hopefully we can do another one soon. So yeah, drop a comment in the video, and I'll leave you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever.